Today the topic I am going to explain is about the digestive system. The digestive system, one of the important organ systems of our body. Organ system, our body is made of different organs, both internal as well as external organs. All the organs have their different functions to perform. One organ cannot perform all the functions of the body. Different organs perform different functions. When different organs work together in coordination to perform one function of the body, they form what is known as an organ system. The digestive system is also one of the important organ systems of our body. It is made of different organs. Different organs work together in coordination to perform the function of digestive system. The different organs that take part in the digestion are mouth, esophagus, liver, stomach, pancreas, gallbladder, large intestine, small intestine, rectum and anus. These are all the different organs. These different organs, they perform the function, the basic function of our body called the digestion. And these all organs form an organ system, the digestive system. Now, what is digestion? Digestion is the process by which the food we eat is broken down into simpler substances so that it is absorbed by the body to release energy, and that energy is used by our body to perform different activities. In the process of digestion, the digestive system breaks down food into nutrients, which is then absorbed by the body. Each stage in digestion is important and prepares food for the next stage. There are 4 important stages. Let me first tell you, there are 4 stages to the food processing. First stage is ingestion. Second is digestion, then absorption and egestion. Ingestion means taking in the food. The first step what we do, we take food in the mouth. As soon as we put food in the mouth, the first step of digestion starts taking place. Then digestion, breaking that food down into nutrients. The food we take in the mouth, as I already explained, digestion is the process of breaking down of large molecules of food into small molecules. The food we take in the mouth is in large molecules. So breaking down the food into nutrients, into smaller molecules is the process of digestion, the next stage of food processing. Third, absorption, taking in nutrients by the cells. Whatever nutrients are present in that digested food, those nutrients have to be taken in by the cells so that our body gets energy from those nutrients. And the last one is egestion. Egestion means whatever leftover food is there, any leftover food that has to be removed by the body, and that process is known as egestion. Now let's learn about each organ in detail and see what function they do and perform in process of digestion. The first organ in the digestive system is the mouth. The mouth has teeth, tongue and salivary glands. Teeth, tongue and salivary glands, they all play their role in the process of digestion. Teeth, here you can see this is mouth, these are the teeth. What is the function of teeth? Teeth help to break up big pieces of food into little pieces that are easier to chew and swallow. It is the first stage of digestion. We call it mechanical digestion, means the digestion that is done physically, not with aid of any enzymes, any chemicals. Here the teeth, they mix up the food, they grind the food to break it into smaller pieces. Then salivary gland. There are the glands in our mouth, they are known as salivary glands. The salivary glands, they produce saliva. Saliva is just like a water, what we call as spit. We throw it out of the mouth, spit. What is the function of the saliva? It moistens the food as it is chewed. It also has substances what we call as enzymes. Enzymes are the chemicals present in our body that help our body to carry out different reactions. So this saliva, it has special substances called enzymes, as enzyme called salivary amylase. As the name saliva, the enzyme name is salivary amylase. This salivary amylase breaks down the starch present in the food into simple sugars. Starch cannot be absorbed by our cells, so this starch has to be broken down into simple sugars while we chew the food. Then tongue inside the mouth. Tongue helps us to taste the food. Not only it helps us to taste the food, it also helps out pushing the food while you are chewing it with your teeth. While we are chewing the food with the teeth, the tongue helps to push the food around. When we are ready to swallow, the tongue pushes up tiny bit of mushed up food towards the back and in the opening of esophagus, the second part of the digestive tract. Now esophagus, the tongue also makes fine bolus, round shaped balls of the food, and then swallows those balls. Saliva has already moistened the food, so it is easier for that food bolus to go down into the next part of digestive system called an esophagus. What is esophagus? It is just a tube-like structure. From the mouth, the food reaches the next part of the digestive system, esophagus, or we call it food pipe, or another name for esophagus is gullet also. It is a long narrow tube. You can see it is a long narrow tube. It carries food from back of your mouth to stomach. This esophagus is the main connection between mouth and stomach. Esophagus carries food from back of our mouth to the stomach. The stomach is a J-shaped muscular bag. You can see the stomach. Now this stomach is next organ of digestive system. The stomach is a J-shaped muscular bag. Stomach is like mixer, churner. It mixes, churns and mashes together all the small balls of the food that came down from the mouth through the esophagus into it. It does this with help of the strong muscles in walls of the stomach. The walls of the stomach have strong muscles which help it to mash, to grind, to mix, to churn the food. Food hangs out in stomach for around few hours. The second part of digestion, when the food reaches the stomach, is slow. It is not quick like the first part of digestion that takes place in the mouth. It is slow. In stomach, the food hangs out for around 4 to 6 hours. It depends on what type of meal we have taken. If we have taken quite heavy meal, then it will be in the stomach for 6 hours. And the stomach has the capacity to hold 1.5 liters of food at a time. During this time, the food mixes with digestive juices secreted by walls of the stomach. The walls of the stomach, they produce gastric juices, gastric juice. That gastric juice contains an acid. There is an acid in the body, hydrochloric acid. That hydrochloric acid can also be produced in the laboratory. But this is the naturally occurring acid, hydrochloric acid, that is produced by the gastric juice present in the walls of the stomach. This gastric juice, this hydrochloric acid, helps in killing the bacteria present in the food. In addition to breaking down digestive juices, also help to kill bacteria that might be present in the food that we eat. The digestive juices, they in the stomach start to break down proteins into simple substances. Now another part of the food, we have proteins also in the food. Those proteins are broken down into simpler substances called amino acids by the digestive juices present in walls of the stomach. The food is partially digested in the stomach. It's not completely digested in the stomach, it is partially digested in the stomach. From the stomach, the partially digested food moves to next part of the digestive tract, which is the small intestine. You can see the pink one is large intestine, and inside that yellow coiled tube structures, they are small intestine. The name small intestine, it does not mean that they are small in length. No, the small intestine are not small. They are 7 meters long. They are coiled. If we uncoil them, if we unfold them, they are 7 meters long. But why the name small intestine? Because of their diameter. Their diameter is 2 to 3 centimeters. So because of their diameter, they have the name small intestine. Small intestine is a highly coiled tube around 6 to 7 meter long. The inner walls of the small intestine produce certain digestive juices. Those juices also help in the process of digesting the food. While the food enters the small intestine, 2 more organs, you can see here, a cap-like organ on the top of the stomach, on upper side of the abdomen, the stomach liver, and below the liver, small organ gallbladder. While the food enters the small intestine, two more organs, that is liver, and there is also a leaf-like structure below the stomach, we call it pancreas. This is liver, this is gallbladder, and below the stomach there is a leaf-like structure what we call as pancreas. When the food enters the small intestine, two more organs, that is liver and pancreas. They produce some more digestive juices. Liver and pancreas pour their juices directly into the small intestine. Because the food is now in the small intestine for digestion, liver and pancreas, they pour their juices directly into the small intestine. These pancreas produce pancreatic juice. This pancreatic juice helps to digest, helps to break down the proteins that are present in the food, and it also helps to break down carbohydrates. Pancreas, this leaf-like organ present below the stomach and above the large intestine, above the upper part of large intestine, produces pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice helps in breakdown of indigestion of proteins and carbohydrates. Now coming to the next organ, that is liver. This liver produces thick green fluid what is known as bile juice. Liver produces a thick green fluid called bile juice. This bile juice is produced by liver. Liver only produces it, but this bile juice is stored in gallbladder. Liver produces a thick green fluid called bile juice, and the bile juice gets stored in the gallbladder. When needed, bile juice passes into the small intestine. Whenever needed from gallbladder, bile juice passes into the small intestine where it digests the fat present in the food, and also some fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K. Then coming the digestive juices from the liver, pancreas and small intestine, they get mixed with the food and completely digest it in small intestine. The complete digestion of food takes place in these quite tube-like structure, tube-like organ called small intestine. The digestive juices, I will repeat, the digestive juices from the liver, pancreas and gallbladder and small intestine get mixed food completely and digest it. The digested food is now in simple soluble form. It is absorbed in the blood through walls of small intestine. The walls of small intestine, they have finger-like projections on them. Those finger-like projections, millions of tiny finger-like projections on them, those tiny finger-like projections are known as villi, V-I-L-L-I. And the singular form of villi is villus, V-I-L-L-U-S. They have a thin network, tiny network of blood capillaries on them. So the digested food gets absorbed through the walls of the small intestine through those blood capillaries. The blood then carries the digested food to all parts of the body. This digested food is used to produce energy. Now there is undigested food. All the food got digested, now there is undigested food. What will happen to that undigested food? The undigested food is then carried forward to the next organ of the digestive tract, and the next organ of the digestive tract is the large intestine. Large intestine, as I told you, small intestine have the name small intestine because of their diameter. Their diameter is very small, it's 3 centimeter, 2 to 3 centimeter, but they are large in length. And large intestine, they have the name large intestine, but they are not large in length. They are small in length only because of their diameter. They have the name large intestine. The undigested food is now carried from small intestine to the next organ of the digestive tract, to the next organ of the digestive system, that's the large intestine. Now what happens to the food in large intestine? We will see that. Large intestine is thick, long tube which is twice as wide as the small intestine. That is why it has the name large intestine. It's not large in length. It's called large intestine because of its diameter, which is twice as wide as small intestine. But the length of large intestine is only 1.5 meters long. Large intestine is only 1.5 meters long. Small intestine are 7 meters long. Still the name large intestine and small intestine. Why? Because of the name, because of their diameter. Large intestine is a thick, long tube which is twice as wide as the small intestine but only 1.5 meter in diameter. But only 1.5 meter in length. Any food that the body doesn't need or cannot use, that means the undigested food. Now the undigested food our body does not need. It cannot use it. It has to be removed from the body. It is sent to this large intestine and then later leave the body as waste. The undigested food is sent to the large intestine and from large intestine later on the undigested food leaves as the waste. Now the walls of the large intestine, what they do? They absorb extra water, salt and minerals from that undigested food, from that undigested leftover. Whatever undigested leftover, undigested food is there in the large intestine, the large intestine absorb water, minerals and salts from that undigested food, from that undigested leftover. Finally the remaining, now there will be semi-solid waste. Semi-solid means it will have some water also in it. Finally, the remaining semi-solid waste. That semi-solid waste is known as feces. F-A-E-C-E-S. Feces. The remaining semi-solid waste in the large intestine. It travels to the lower part of large intestine. From large intestine, all the water, minerals and salts have been absorbed from the food. The walls of large intestine absorb water, minerals and salt from the food. Now whatever leftover undigested food is there, it's called feces. From large intestine, this feces travels to lower part of large intestine known as rectum. The lower part of large intestine is known as rectum. That undigested food, semi-solid, undigested feces will reach to the lower part of large intestine called as rectum. Now we will see what happens to the extra water absorbed by the large intestine. Large intestine absorbed extra water from the food. Now what will happen to that extra water absorbed by large intestine? The water absorbed by large intestine will then go to another organ, kidneys. There are a pair of kidneys at the lower side of our abdomen, back of the abdomen, lower back of the abdomen. There are two kidneys, one on right and one on the left side. The water absorbed by the large intestine then goes to the kidneys. The unwanted water is removed from the body in form of urine. The unwanted water that is removed from the body in form of liquid is known as urine. The water that has been absorbed from the large intestine is sent to the kidneys. It goes to the kidneys and kidneys remove that extra water from the body in form of urine. Waste products are passed into the end of large intestine called rectum and eliminated. Eliminated means thrown out of the body as a solid matter called feces. The waste products, they are sent to the last part of the lower part of the large intestine called rectum. They get stored there and they are thrown out, eliminated, thrown out, expelled out of the body in form of feces. This feces is stored in the rectum as semi-solid and later it exits, it leaves the body from an organ called anus. Thus the journey of the food that we eat starts in the mouth and ends when the undigested food is removed from our body through the anus. So the first organ of digestion is mouth and the last organ where the journey of digestion of the food comes to end is anus. And I will repeat the organs of digestion: mouth, esophagus, liver, gallbladder, stomach, pancreas, large intestine, small intestine, rectum and anus. Hope you all enjoyed today's class. You enjoyed the topic, the digestive system, and you understood it quite properly. Have a nice day. Bye.